Okay, guys. So in our previous session, we already have seen some functionality where we created some controls like inside the table we have created the rows dynamically and how to use REST API to get the data that also we have seen. So quickly, actually, I just want to show you this presentation. This basically we have prepared for what is the REST API. So just to make more clear understanding on the REST APIs, normally REST API is like when we are calling something or when we want to get some data. So we have taken the example of one restaurant where this this is the client. Okay, client is basically who is going to request something, and manager who is going to receive the request. And actually, he is not going to prepare anything. He is going to pass this request to the kitchen, or it is going to pass this request to the master chef. Then these people will prepare the dish. They will again give this to the manager, and manager will deliver to the client. So in this, if you will see, the manager is basically going to play a role of the REST API. The REST API is basically taking the request from the user. REST API is taking the request from the client. Client will be any browser. Client will be any mobile. Client will be any device. So the REST API is not going to change based on the different client. And I believe you guys understood. Client means this is not a human client. Client means anything which is going to access something from the REST API or from the server. That client may be your browser, because ultimately you are going to request something through browser only. So client may be the browser, client may be the mobile, client may be the pad, any iPad or any pad or tab, and client will be anyone. Okay, from any device, from any place, we can access something from the server with the help of REST API. So the REST API, when we are developing, so that REST API is not depends upon which client is going to access. This REST API is open for everyone. This is the main benefit of what? This is the main benefit of the REST API. Let's suppose you have developed one REST API access to access or to get the list of all user. Okay, you have developed one REST API to get the list of all users. So doesn't matter, you can access this thing, you can request this thing from the web, you can request this thing from the mobile, you can request this thing from the tab also. There is no difference. So the API is not going to change based on the client. We'll develop the API once, and that API we can access from different client, from different source. Understood this thing? Understood everyone? This part?
Yes.
Okay. So now coming to the type of the REST API. So as I already told you, REST API, there are get, post, put, and delete. We have mainly four type of REST APIs: get, post, put, and delete. Get API, if any API type is get, so as you can uh, understand from the name itself, normally when we require to get the data from the server, so normally that kind of API type will be always what? Type will be always get. If you want to send some data to the server, then type will be what? Type will be post. If you want to update some data on the server, then type may be put. If you want to delete any data on the server, then type will be delete. That REST APIs, that REST APIs basically whenever the backend developer will develop this REST API, so they already define the type of the API will be what. Type of the API is get, type of the API is post, type of the API is put, or type of the API is delete. Now coming to the when we are talking about the REST API, and as I told you, if we will have the REST API, that REST API we can access from any device, or we can access from the web, we can access from the mobile, we can access from the any device as well. Now how we can how we can check the REST API means, let's suppose I have developed the REST API. Now I want to check that REST API, how it is working. So to check the REST API, there are two ways we have. One is you can download and install Postman. What we need to do? If I want to check the API, then I need to download and install the Postman. So like in my machine, I already have installed what? I already have installed the Postman. That basically I can show you. You can download Postman, download and install. So you can go to the website, and from here you can download the Postman and install it. What is the role of the Postman? I am going to show you, but before that, normally there are two different tools are there which frequently we are using. Any of the tool you can use. Like this is the Postman look and feel. This Postman normally we are using to check the API. API is working fine or not. What is the result of the API? Everything we can do from here. Let's suppose this application in our last session we have developed. In this application, we have used here what we have used here how to get the detail, na? This one, yeah. So what is the API? This is basically our API that we have used, and based on that, the data what we have received, based on that we have done something. Now before going to develop this all, I want to check this API. Okay, this API, what is the result of the API and all these things. So for that, what I need to do, first I will take this API. Let's suppose I will run this one, and here I will console.log. I need this URL. Okay, so I have just console.log. Just to select, let's suppose Telangana, get pin code. This is the API, what we have run, and based on that, we got this data. So our task is basically what we are checking the API, it is working fine or not. So as I told you, for that, I have installed the Postman. Now here I want to run this API. So what I need to do here, you will get one plus symbol. Okay. Here in the collection, when you click on the collection, then here you will get the plus symbol, create new request. When you click on new request, so here you can see you are getting what? This is the get. There are many different types are there. So first, let's suppose we are focusing on the get, because our request is what? Request type is what? Request type is get. This URL I have pasted here. Okay, URL I have pasted here. Now I have sent this one. So here you can see when you have sent this one, you are getting all this data here. So without implementing this REST API in your main application, first you have to check the API and result in the Postman. So here you can get, okay, like this, we are getting this one data, all these data we are getting here. Understood till this point? Any problem? No issue, guys? Understood this thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now after that, I want to show you another way to run this API. So as you know, this Visual Code is very strong tool. Okay, Visual Code means actually when I started the development, that time these all facility was not there. So we have suffered a lot to do all these things. But now these days there are so many facilities are available. So here in in Visual Code, as you know, somewhere here we have no extension. These all extensions, no, these extensions basically, these extensions are different for the different languages. Means if you are working in Python, so maybe there is some different extensions are there. If you are working with the JavaScript, different extensions are there. If you will work with the Node.js, different extensions are there. Now basically here our requirement is we have the API. We want to run the API and get the result. So in that case, in Visual Code, we have one component. We have the extension. That extension name is what? That extension name is the Thunder client. Okay. What is the name of the extension? The name of the extension is Thunder client. In my machine, I already have installed. Because of that reason, I am getting the option uninstall. But when you will check in your machine, says Thunder client, you will get the option for the installation, you can directly install the Thunder client. Okay. Once you have done with the installation of the Thunder client, then here you will get this option. Okay. Here you will get this option. So let's suppose I am getting this option in this. So here you can see. Now, after that, clear this. I will close all window which we are not using. Okay, so now here you can see we have one button, a new request. What is here? Okay, so you simply click on the new request. When you click on the new request, here you will get this kind of look and feel. So what kind of request we have? So whatever the type you can select from here. Our request type is get. So I have selected, and after that here you need to paste the REST API URL. Once you paste the REST API URL and click on the send, then here you will get the result. Okay, like let's suppose in our this one previous session we have taken this one also, no? This. Let's suppose if I will take this URL and I go to the Thunder client, and here in the get request I copy this one and send it. So here you can see we are able to see the result here. So even if you are working with the Visual Code, you no need to go to the Postman, you no need to install the Postman. You can directly install this Thunder client. Thunder client is very small software, basically very small extension. Once you have done with the installation, after that you can use, as I already shown you, new request, put something here, send, and you will get the result. Clear? Understood everyone? Postman and Thunder client, and what is the use of the Postman and Thunder client? Clear? Okay. Now, after that, here, now coming to the REST API part. So, one thing you understood, okay, we have the REST API that we can access. That REST API is responsible for getting the request and sending the response again to the client. So REST API is basically a way for different software application to talk to each other over the internet. REST API allow one program to request data from another system, send data to another system. So actually, in this in the software world, REST API is playing a very important role. Even in the era of the AI, in the era of the AI also, that API is going to play a very important role, because maybe I don't know you guys heard this MCP server in AI or not. In MCP server, each and everything we have the API. So we can use the API, we can get the result from the any machine. We can send the result to any machine. Okay, so this is the REST API definition. And what are the different types of there that we already have discussed? Stateless REST API property. First property is the stateless. What is the meaning of the stateless? Very simple meaning. When you will hit any REST API, when you will use any REST API, So let's suppose continuously you are using 2 API or 3 API or 4 API. Each and every API don't have any relation with the previous or next API. Okay. Each and every REST API is the isolated. There is no relation between first API to second API. Each and every API is the independent. Because of that reason, we are saying the REST API is the stateless. Stateless का मतलब क्या है कि second API don't know about the state of the first API. Client server separation. So it is basically what the client and server will be separate. So we can basically front end is totally different. Back end development is totally different. We can actually, I tell you one architecture. If normally what happened when we are developing any application, so there are two different ways to develop one application. Like for example, we we are developing one application. I am using ASP .NET MVC. Okay, I am using one application, developing one application. In that application, this is the one application, and in this application, all client plus server both are available in one machine only. Okay, one machine only means there is a one solution, there is a one application. Client means a client is if any client is there, like if any client is there, so this client will directly access will this client will directly access everything. Client and server is available on the same system. No need to go here and there. You have sent the request, you will get the response. Your front end, your back end, everything is in one solution only. Now the problem is, now the problem is you have developed this single solution, and this solution is basically going to work on the web. This solution is going to work where? This solution is going to work on the web means anyone can anyone can use this solution over the web means any browser. In any browser I can access this application. I can get the result. I can update the result. Anything, whatever I want, I can do. But this all together, this is single application only. Okay. Front end development, back end development, everything is here only. Okay. Now, the another way of development is what? Another way of development is this is one machine. Okay. And this is another machine. In this machine, I have written all my front end code. In this machine, what I have written, all my front end is available on this machine. And another solution I have, another solution I have, this solution I have written the backend, or you can write here REST API. You have written what? You have written the backend or REST API. What is the benefit of this kind of approach? The benefit of this kind of approach is in the first approach, you have developed a beautiful application. This application is basically any web client, any web client can easily use this application. Or maybe you have developed this application for mobile. For example, you have developed this application for mobile native application development, then client can use this mobile application, or you have developed the web application, the client can use this as a web application. Now here, normally now these days, what is happening? Now these days, people want application in both platform. Means people want the application which should work on the web as well as which should be work on the we need mobile app as well. Okay. So now basically as per the client requirement, as per the client requirement, we have two application. One is the web application and other one is what? Other one is the mobile application. As per the current scenario, now these days every client is asking कि भाई मुझे जो है I need web application as well as mobile application. So normally whatever the feature we have in the web, same feature we required in the mobile application as well. This is clear to everyone. कि भाई whatever the feature we have in the web, same feature we required in the mobile. अब now here two important thing. One is definitely the front end of the web and front end of the mobile both is 110% different. Because आपको पता है कि वेब वेब का फ्रंट एंड इज डिफरेंट एंड मोबाइल का फ्रंट एंड जो लुक एंड फील है दैट विल बी डिफरेंट. ठीक है. डेफिनेटली इफ इन दिस केस हमें इसके लिए एप्लीकेशन डेवलप करना पड़ेगा और इसके लिए भी डेवलप करना पड़ेगा. लेकिन अगर मेरे पास इस एप्लीकेशन में एक फीचर है वेयर आई एम शोइंग ऑल एम्प्लॉयज लिस्ट, वेयर आई एम शोइंग ऑल एम्प्लॉय लिस्ट, सेम फीचर यहाँ पे भी रहेगा. बट दोनों में अंतर क्या है कि इसका लुक एंड फील अलग रहेगा, इसका लुक एंड फील क्या रहेगा? डिफरेंट रहेगा. बट अल्टीमेटली हियर ऑल्सो यू रिक्वायर्ड गेट ऑल एम्प्लॉय, हियर ऑल्सो यू रिक्वायर्ड गेट ऑल एम्प्लॉय. तो एक तरीका तो ये है कि ये सारा एप्लीकेशन फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड सब कुछ आपने यहाँ पे लिख दिया, फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड सब कुछ आपने इस पे लिख दिया. एक तरीका ये है कि आपने फ्रंट एंड लिखा अलग एंड बैक एंड लिखा अलग. देन व्हाट विल हैपन इन दिस केस, you have written this front end, this front end you have written for the web, this front end you have written for mobile. एनीवेज बिकॉज वेब का फ्रंट एंड अलग है, मोबाइल का अलग है, तो इसका कोई भी ऑप्शन वी डोंट हैव. सो वी हैव टू राइट front end of the web and front end of the mobile different. But the back end part means get all employee, create user, get employee attendance, get how many leaves are pending for the Yogesh, get how many CL is pending for the Yogesh, get the PDF of the salary. So definitely this kind of requirement we need in both the places. So the good approach is what? For all the backend, for all the backend, we have developed a single service. For the backend, we have developed the single solution, that is the REST API, what we will develop for the mobile and web, so that any requirement is coming from the web or any requirement is coming from the mobile. So both the request will come where? Both the request will come to this backend. And one more benefit what you will get here using this approach. Let's suppose by mistake, what you have done, you have written both the front end and back end in one place. You have written both front end and back end in one place, similarly for the web and similarly for the mobile. दोनों में सेम फीचर है, मोबाइल में और वेब में दोनों में फीचर सेम है, आपने दोनों के लिए कोड कॉपी पेस्ट करके पूरा लिख दिया यहाँ पे. Now my question is, let's suppose you are showing me one feature. You are showing me get all employee feature, and in that you are showing me employee ID and employee F name and L name. ठीक है, आपने यहाँ पे दिखाया, आपने यहाँ पे दिखाया. अब मैंने आपको बोला कि मुझे जो है रिजल्ट चाहिए आईडी इन फर्स्ट कॉलम, इन सेकंड कॉलम आई नीड एफ नेम एंड एल नेम बोथ, इन थर्ड कॉलम आई नीड पिन कोड, इन फोर्थ कॉलम आई नीड द सिटी. अब आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, अगर आप इस अप्रोच से चलते हो, इस अप्रोच से अगर चलते हो तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, जो चेंजेस आपने यहाँ पे कोड में किए हैं सेम चेंजेस आपको कॉपी पेस्ट कहाँ करना पड़ेगा, यहाँ पे भी करना पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि भाई वेब में जो आ रहा डेटा वही तो मोबाइल में आना चाहिए. सो वॉट एवर द चेंजेस यू आर गोइंग टू डू हियर, दैट चेंजेस यू हैव टू डू हियर ऑल्सो. If let's suppose any feature is not working properly in your web, then same error you will get in mobile also. So the same thing, the same modification, what you are going to do in the web, same modification you have to do in the mobile. So in that situation, the best approach is the REST API backend should be separate from the front end. So that if let's suppose any new data I want to show in my application, I need to change my code in one place only. I will change the code in the this place, then automatically if he will call get all employee, or he will call get all employee, in both the cases you will get the correct result. You will get the same result, doesn't matter this is the correct, this is the wrong, but in both the situation you will get the same result. If someone is going to tell you this result is wrong, you need to modify this thing. So the benefit is you no need to modify two times. You just need to modify here. Automatically the same result will reflect in web as well as mobile. Understood? The scenario of any application architecture, how this REST API or the front end development and back end development, if we will keep separate, then what is the benefit of this architecture? Understood, guys? आया आपको समझ में?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uniform interface, this you already know. Uniform interface means if you are going to hit this URL from mobile, or you are going to hit this URL from web, in both the condition this structure will be same. And like see what I was trying to tell you, someone is hitting this URL from mobile, and some let you only develop the application, your mobile front end is accessing this, your web front end is accessing this. All of sudden you are basically getting here user ID, title and body. Now I want to add here username as well. So what I will do, I will do the changes in this API. I will do the changes in this API, and ultimately the same API you are using in web and the same API you are using in mobile as well. Then you no need to basically develop the things two times. The REST API will change here. Automatically, it will reflect in mobile as well as web. Cacheable, REST layered system. There can be multiple layers. Client, API, gateway, server, data structure. This is not a problem. Representational. as you guys already know here, we are getting the data in the JSON format. This is also one important thing. eh, here, we have REST API query string. ये एक बहुत ही important this topic है. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is कि, for example, this is your REST API URL. Okay, this is the okay. पहले definition पढ़ते हैं एक बार. Query parameter are a way to pass information to an API in a flexible and simple manner. They are added to end of the API endpoint. ठीक है. See, now I will show you something. REST API example with query parameters. Actually, first आप purpose समझिए. Once you will understand the purpose, then it will be easy for you to understand. अभी we have hit this URL, na? We have hit this URL and we got the result. कि चलो भाई, this is the API. This you have hit and you got this result. अभी मेरा requirement क्या है कि I want to send user name and password. What I want to do here, this is the URL. In this URL, I want to send two information, three information, four information, n number of information I want to send with this URL. Okay? अभी हम यहाँ से कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन तो सेंड नहीं कर रहे हैं, सिंपली वी आर हिटिंग दिस यूआरएल. Maybe you want to hit some information or you want to send some information along with this URL. Then the method of sending the information is, first of all, here you will put the ampersand. Sorry, I am sorry. Here you need to put the question mark. What you need to do here? You need to put the question mark. After that, let's suppose I have written here f name is equal to Yogesh, ampersand l name is equal to Sharma. ठीक है, मैंने क्या किया यहाँ पे, जो भी आपका यूआरएल है उस यूआरएल के बाद मैंने क्या लगाया है यहाँ पे, क्वेश्चन मार्क. आफ्टर क्वेश्चन मार्क आई हैव पुट की वैल्यू, ampersand की वैल्यू. So one thing always remember, whenever we want to send some information to the server along with the URL, then the method is the query string. After the question mark, whatever we are writing, after the question mark, whatever we are writing, this is called the query string parameter. After the question mark, whatever we are writing, that is called the query string, or that is called the query string parameter. Query string is always in the form of key value pair. Query string is always in the form of key value pair. Understood? चीज समझ में आई आपको? When we want to send some information along with the URL, then we are using the method query string. And query string दिखता कैसा है? After the question mark, whatever the things we have written, that is called a query string parameter. जहां क्वेश्चन मार्क डला हुआ है वहां से क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग चालू होता है। ईच एंड एवरी की वैल्यू पेयर के बीच में एम% आता है। Anyone have any question, any doubt, feel free to ask. क्लियर है सभी को? What is the query string parameter? What is the use of the query string parameter?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। अभी इसका एक टाइम क्या हुआ है? ठीक है, एक छोटा सा एक एग्जांपल करते हैं, ठीक है। इवन इवन मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल बताऊं जो कि हमने ऑलरेडी किया है, ठीक है। क्या किया है हमने? अगर आप यहाँ ध्यान से देखेंगे, ये देखिए, कल हमने किया था ये, कल हमने ये किया था ना ये। अभी मैं अगर यहाँ पे अपना एप्लीकेशन पे जाता हूँ, इसको अगर देखोगे ना, गो टू मैप, if I will inspect this go to map, I have this function open map. Where is the open map? This is the open map. Click on, let's suppose you click on this one, go to the next line. What is the URL? See here. अभी आपको समझ में आ रहा है इसमें क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग है या नहीं? क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग इसमें है या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Query string is present, and what is the key and what is the value? Can anyone tell me what is the key and what is the value?
Q is the key and 19 is value.
Q is the key. 19.3638689 comma 79.5376658. This is complete value. अगर आपको याद है तो मैंने क्या बताया था कि कोई भी की वैल्यू पेयर इज सेपरेटेड बाय व्हाट? Any key value pair in query string is separated by what? See here. Any in query string, any key value is separated by which character? And. तो जहां तक एंड नहीं आता है इसका मतलब वो पहले वाले का ही वैल्यू है। तो यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे, ये Q इज द की, एंड ये जो टोटल जो दिख रहा है ना, ये किसका वैल्यू है? इस की का वैल्यू है। अगर आप सिंपल इसको कॉपी करते हो, इसको कॉपी करते हो, तो आपका क्या हो जाएगा? नॉर्मल गूगल मैप ओपन हो जाएगा। गूगल ने गूगल ने अपना एपीआई इस तरीके से डिजाइन किया है कि if you want to create a marker, so you need to send x and y coordinate in query parameter. If you just send this one, Google will take care. Now if I go here and if I simply copy, and automatically Google will open the map, go to this point and create the marker. Based on this only, Google is understanding on which location we need to create the marker. So this is the use of what? This is the use of the query parameter. Whenever we want to send any data to the server along with the URL, then we are using query string. Query string is always in the form of the key value, key value, key value. Each key value pair is separated by ampersand. Query string is start from where? query string is start from the question mark. In next session, what we will do, we will create a web page. We will, when in that web page, we will put one button. When you click on the button, it will navigate to the next page. In next page, I will send username and password, and will read that username and password in the next page. So you will understand, you will get more practical understanding on how to send the query string and how to get the value from the query string in the next page. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.